Not enough minerals. Potential.
Glad you're here. Need a little help fulfilling a contract. Aim on shipping some nasty tech on board these trains. My job is to torch them, but my guys are late to the party. Now, I'm thinking you'd like to see those trains go up in smoke too.
Mineral quantity insufficient. More minerals required. Mineral quantity insufficient. Not enough minerals. Mineral quantity insufficient. More minerals required.
We're about to have company. Enemy forces are gunning for us. Terran combatants sighted.
Combat.
One of the trains is leaving its station now. Destroying it is your main objective.
Target in transit. Will pursue. Allied forces in combat. Many toxic nests ready. Deployment advised. Hive cluster targeted for attack. Eliminate incoming enemies.
A main objective has been destroyed.
Evasion unsuccessful. Poor planning. Allies base under assault. forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Mutation complete. Potential for multiple toxic nests. Must use.
Looks like they've got another shipment leaving the station. Let's cause some delays.
Swarm has evolved. Need more Vespine gas. Allied forces in combat.
Main objective destroyed.
They never stood a chance.
Additional Vespine gas. Mineral quantity. Enemy inbound. Must defend Hive cluster. Insufficient Vespine gas.
Here we go. Knock that train over and raise some hell.
Additional Vespine gas required. Allied forces in combat.
Time to play defense.
Got a train on that bottom track moving fast. Must be a priority shipment. Intercept it if you can.
Vespine gas.
Main objective destroyed.
Target neutralized.
Forces spun. Swarm mutated. Allied forces in combat. Insufficient Vespine gas.
Enemy combatants in motion. They're headed our way. Picking up cloaking
Allied
signatures.
forces in
Time
combat.
for detection.
Many toxic nests ready. Deployment advised.
Trains are leaving both stations at once. I guess they're trying to stay on schedule.
Need more Vespine gas. Allied forces in combat.
Activating defensive drone.
Allies base under assault. Swarm forces in combat. Regeneration commencing. Will heal armies.
Looks like we're making good progress. We've knocked over roughly half their shipments.
Eyes up, our ride's here.
Swarm forces under attack.
Seems like we could use a
Allied
defensive
forces
drone.
in combat.
Men available.
Hostile organisms approaching. Must secure perimeter. Swarm forces under attack. Sharing Zerg.
A main objective has been destroyed.
Kill confirmed.
Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat.
You got a train to catch, Commanders. Don't want to miss it, do you?
Allied forces in combat. Additional Vespene gas required. Allied forces
Seems like we
in
could use a
combat.
defensive drone.
Swarm forces under attack.
A main objective has been destroyed.
Destruction confirmed. Enemy loss severe. Swarm forces under attack. Allies
We've got an enemy attack en route to our base.
forces in combat. Sharing Zerg regeneration. Healing in progress. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat.
Time to play defense.
Need more Vespene gas.
Mend is now ready.
Allies base under assault. Allied forces in combat. Allies base Allied forces in combat.
Client's willing to pay extra if you take out the trains on the bottom track. You take them out, Amon's mad, and I'm happy. Win-win.
Forces in combat. tests must pass. Ally space.
Main objective destroyed.
Swarm unstoppable. Cannot escape.
Hostile sighted inbound on our base.
Ally space mutation complete.
Their warehouses should be looking real empty right now. Not too many trains left to go.
Ally space under assault. Allied forces in combat. Allied space under assault. Insufficient Vespine gas.
Activating defensive drone.
Allied space under assault.
Enemies on the offensive. Prepare to defend.
Potential Allied space under assault. Must forces in combat. Allied space under assault.
A main objective has been destroyed.
Of course, I never miss.
Swarm triumphant. Mutations effective.
Reinforcements to the front line.
More minerals require toxic.
This planet is in serious trouble. If this infestation spreads, there won't be any survivors. We need to stop it. It's risky to move at night, but the infested die off during the day. When the sun is up, move out and burn their structures.
Insufficient overlords. Quantity insufficient. More minerals required. Mineral quantity insufficient. More overlords required.
Heads up, Commanders. The day's almost over, which means the infested are gonna come for us soon.
Command unacceptable.
That's the last of the sunlight. Our defenses have to hold until the night is over.
Insufficient overlords.
The swarm is an assault on civilization.
Look out for those hunterlings. They're fast, and boy can they jump.
Not enough minerals. Potential for multiple toxic nests. Must use. Allies' base under assault.
The sun will rise any minute now. Then the infested will burn away.
Allies' base under assault.
We made it to the dawn. To stop the infestation, we need to destroy enough of it each day. Head to these coordinates to start. We're not done yet, Commanders. Here's some more structures to burn out.
Says spun. Swarm mutated. Allied forces in combat.
Looks like we can find additional structures here.
Evolution complete. Mutation complete. Allied
All right.
forces.
It looks like we've taken out a good amount of infestation. Just need to keep it up.
Need more Allied forces. Many toxic nests ready. Deployment advised.
I've got another sector with structures on my scanners.
Evolution.
Another day is coming to an end.
Combat. Swarm mutated. Allied forces in combat.
Here come the infested. We have to hold them off until sunrise.
Insufficient allied forces.
Don't get too bold out there. If our base falls to the infested, this planet will be lost.
Allied forces in combat.
Spotters are in the air. Shoot them down before they become a problem.
Many toxic forces in combat. Deployment advised. Vespine gas. Allied forces.
We've got a barricade taking some damage here.
Allies base under assault. Additional Vespine gas required.
We do what
Allied
we
forces
must.
in combat.
Unleash the Zerg. Subversives, cloaked and lurking
Allies
among
base
us.
under assault. Allied forces in combat.
Are you kidding me? Amon wants to attack us now too? Perfect.
People of the Dominion, rise up and defend yourselves.
Allied forces in absurd evolution.
Daybreak is just around the corner. Hold the line until then.
Allies base under assault. Mutation complete. Allied forces in combat.
Let's get to work, Commanders. We have to burn enough of the infestation today so that we don't fall behind.
Evolving Brutalisk. Threat maximized. Allied forces in combat.
Detecting more structures at this location.
Release the
Allied
Zerg.
forces in
That is no mercy.
Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat.
My scans show that half of the infestation is gone. We can do this.
Together, we can destroy any foe.
Swarm forces under potential for multiple toxic nests. Must use.
Sending you the coordinates for more structures. Looks like the sun's about to set. Get ready for nightfall.
Pummel them until nothing remains.
Sequences spun. Swarm mutated.
A lot of dead out there. Make sure that we don't join them.
Forces.
I like the hustle, but I advise against it, commanders. It'll be easier to take out the structures in the daytime. There's a virophage out there, commanders. Kill it if you can, but you'll have to do it at night. Don't worry if you can't kill the virophage tonight. I'm sure it'll be back tomorrow.
Allied forces in combat. Allied base under assault. Allied
Looks like they're trying to tear down a barricade. You sure you want to do that at night, commanders? The infested will be here any minute.
Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Swarm forces under attack. Allied forces in combat.
The infested are trying to break through one of our barricades.
Forces in combat.
Nice job, commanders. Now we don't have to worry about the virophage after we clear out the structures. Don't get too bold out there. If our base falls to the infested, this planet will be lost. The infestation is almost gone, but we need to get the rest of it for this to work.
Enemy Nidus worm detected.
Allied space under assault. Allied forces in combat.
I like the hustle, but I'd advise against it, commanders. It'll be easier to take out the structures in the daytime. Ugh, Amon's supporting the infested with his own forces. It's gonna be a long night.
Allied forces in combat. Allied space under assault. Regeneration. Healing in progress.
Keep it up. Night's coming to an end soon. You sure you want to do that at night, commanders? The infested will be here any minute.
Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in
Men
combat.
available.
The Zerg will
Allied
feast
forces
on our
in
enemy's
combat.
remains.
Allied forces in combat. Regeneration commencing. Will heal armies.
Sons and daughters of the Dominion, we march ever onward.
Potential for toxic nests. quantity insufficient.
Well, glad to see you two could make it. Been fighting these Void Thrashers for a couple of days now. Lost a lot of good men. My base won't hold out much longer. I need you to take out those Void Thrashers before they destroy what's left of the fortress.
More minerals required.
Well, speak of the devil. Looks like one of those Thrashers is about to come around.
Mineral quantity insufficient. More minerals required. Not enough minerals. Mineral quantity insufficient. Not enough minerals. More minerals required.
Hostile sighted inbound on our base.
More minerals required.
Encountering
Allies
Terran combatants.
under assault.
That's one hell of a healing device.
Swarm forces under attack. Mineral quantity insufficient.
There's the first Thrasher. Main objective is to kill it, and fast.
Targeting objective will destroy.
Taking some serious heat here. Void Thrashers ain't letting up.
Hostile organisms approaching. Must secure perimeter. Allied space under assault. Hive under direct assault. Must spawn more overlords. Many toxic nests ready. Deployment advised.
Enemies on the offensive. Prepare to defend.
Void Thrasher obliterated.
Looks like the Thrashers have arrived. Let's kick them back to the Void. Man, how many of these Thrashers are they gonna send? Better get ready to handle them.
Picking up cloaking signatures. Time for some
Allied
detection.
forces in combat.
Void Thrashers are starting to burn a hole through the fortress's ceiling. So, you know, that seems bad.
Will defend.
Hey, the fortress is under attack.
Running protection detail. Got it. Defensive drone initiation.
In combat. Must be morphed on creep. Additional Vespi mutation complete.
Bringing a defensive drone online.
Allied forces in combat. Potential for multiple toxic nests. Must use.
Time to play defense.
A Void Thrasher has been annihilated.
Enemy attack imminent. Prepare defenses.
Multiple rifts on the field. Gonna have some Thrashers to deal with real soon.
Allied forces in combat.
Bringing a defensive drone online.
Allied forces in combat. Sequences spun. Swarm mutated. Allied space under assault. Allied forces in
The
combat.
Void Thrashers are on the field. Take them out, commanders.
Regeneration commencing. Insufficient overlords.
The fortress is under some pretty heavy fire. We gotta take these Void Thrashers down pronto.
Protection assured.
Archangel. Probably a good idea to destroy it before they can use it.
Allied forces under attack.
Fortress is under fire. If anyone wants to go and kill a Void Thrasher, I'd be much obliged. My fortress has taken some serious hits. Clear out those Thrashers before it gets too hot to handle.
We're about to have company. Enemy forces are gunning for us.
We have defeated a Void Thrasher.
Allied forces in combat.
Seems like we could use a defensive drone.
Mend is now ready. Void Thrasher defeated.
Evolving Brutalisk.
Looks like we got several risks to deal with. Hope you're up for this.
Sharing Zerg regeneration. Allied forces in progress.
That Archangel's trying for some evasive maneuvers. My money's on it repairing itself till you start shooting at it again. Woo! I have got to get me one of those.
Swarm forces under attack.
Defensive drone initiated.
Allied forces in combat.
Activating defensive drone.
Mend is now ready.
Eyes up. Our ride's here.
Here come the Thrashers, Commanders. Let's light them up.
Enemy inbound. Must defend Hive Cluster.
The fortress is under some pretty heavy fire. We gotta take these Void Thrashers down pronto.
The enemy will never get past me.
Allied forces in combat. Toxic Allied forces in combat. Deployment advised. Hive cluster under direct assault. Swarm forces under attack.
Looks like there are 3 Thrashers left. Time to drop that down to 0.
Evolution continues. Swarm grows stronger. Not enough. More overlords required.
Not enough minerals.
Mobius Core constructed a battle station on this platform. We're gonna have to take out each sector of it before it fires on our colonies. These trucks carry Zonlaga artifacts that'll destabilize Mobius's technology. But first, you'll have to move them into position.
Insufficient.
You'll find this sector just to the north of your position. The artifacts in your truck will disarm this construct. like fighting fire with fire.
Big job, huh? Ah! You scared me!
Good work. That's one less construct to deal with.
Protons. Well, ain't I the lucky one? Okay, General. Hive cluster targeted for attack. Eliminate incoming enemies. Do what a man's gotta do. Okay, General.
Clock's ticking, everyone.
I didn't hear no magic word.
Is it critical?
I'm a bad man. More overlords required.
Ah! You scared me! Roger.
I'm a bad man. A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do.
Is it critical? Not a problem.
I bark all day.
This is our final moment. Go! Well done. The construct's down.
Company's coming to our base, and they do not look too happy.
Don't waste my time.
First truck's in place.
Don't provoke me.
Get to safety. It's about to blow.
Okay.
Well, there's nothing left of that sector. Now it'll take them longer to fire the battle station.
Expected outcome. Proper tactics applied.
My team strapped together some new trucks. Head east and you'll find the sector before you know it.
What's in it for me?
Mobius Corps knows we're here, and they're transferring their weapons data from the outposts on this battle station. If you have a chance, steer your truck that way. It'll corrupt the data and stop it from ever being used elsewhere.
Don't waste my time. What's in it for me?
Enemy attacks on the way to our base. I don't like this one bit.
Swarm forces under attack.
Evolution complete.
Need a light. Let's do this.
Bad news, Commanders. An attack wave is coming for your truck.
I'm a bad man. Mutation complete. You gonna bark all day? Out in here. Insufficient overlords.
You did it. Construct's just rubble now.
Bonus objective completed.
I'm a bad man. Don't provoke me.
The enemy's targeting your truck's coordinates. Keep an eye out. Friendly reminder, we only have so long to finish off the sectors.
Enemy sniffed out our base. Let's make them regret it.
You can't fix stupid. Sequences spun. Swarm. Need more Vespine gas. Walk the walk. Swarm forces under attack. Don't waste my time.
Evolution completed.
Almost out of time, Commanders. Good work. That's one less construct to deal with.
Walk the walk.
Now for the other truck.
Okay, armchair general.
Hurry up before it goes up in flames.
Sequences spun. Swarm mutated. Don't waste my time. You can't.
Demolition complete. And we've delayed them from activating the battle station's weapons.
I noticed.
Both your trucks have arrived. Focus on getting the trucks to the sector west of here.
Hostile forces are zeroing in on our base. Keep your eyes peeled.
A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do.
These research outposts are transferring their data so they can build additional weapons elsewhere. If you have time to escort your truck to them, it'll disrupt the connection. Consider it a target of opportunity.
What's in it for me?
Looks like Amon's minions have found your truck's location. Expect an attack soon.
Gotta do what a man's gotta do. Walk the walk.
Not enough Vespine. Evolution complete.
Don't provoke.
Looks like Amon's minions have found your truck's location. Expect an attack soon.
You gonna bark all day? Vespine. Hostile organisms approaching. Must secure perimeter.
Evolution.
You did it. Construct's just rubble now.
Allied space under assault. Spine cluster. Additional attack. Vespine gas required.
You better hustle if you want to stop that research outpost, commanders.
Space under assault. Sharing surge regeneration.
The enemy's targeting your truck's coordinates. Keep an eye out.
Under direct assault. Swarm
The battle
forces.
station's readying its attack. We need to get going.
Allied space under assault. Swarm forces insufficient. Attack Vespine. Enemy assaulting drones. Allied forces.
Goliath are soldiers, not cannon fodder.
Walk the walk.
Corporal Faraday here. We're in it deep, Commanders. Amon's summoning void shards in multiple locations around the city. Their activation will result in the city's destruction and catastrophic civilian casualties. We need to destroy those shards.
Insufficient overlords. Must spawn more overlords. More overlords. More minerals required. insufficient. Not enough minerals. More minerals required. Enemy inbound. Must defend Hive Cluster.
Even my structures put up more of a fight than you. Must I compensate for your weakness? Finally.
Additional Vespine gas required.
Scanner's picking up a void shard near your location. Your objective is to take it out.
Its obliteration will soon be at hand.
Enemy attack imminent. Prepare defenses. Potential for multiple toxic nests. Must use ally space under assault.
That's just the first of many. Okay, Commanders, let's get to work. Several void shards appearing on our sensors. Make sure you destroy all of them.
Mineral quantity insufficient. Not enough minerals.
An enemy attack moves towards our base. Oh, most unwise.
Destroy these cowards. Allied forces in combat. Gas. Mutation complete. Regeneration commencing. Will heal armies. Allied forces in combat.
They keep summoning shards, and we keep sending them back.
An inevitable outcome.
No rest for the righteous. Looks like we've got another set of void shards to deal with.
These foolish enemies seek to storm my base. Allied forces in combat.
Kamaran's pirates are taking advantage of the chaos to steal precious resources. Shoot those traitors out of the sky if you can.
Brutalisk, pinnacle of Zerg evolution. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat.
Piracy in the skies above Core Hall? Not on my watch.
Regeneration commencing. Will heal armies. Potential for multiple toxic nest sequences must use. Swarm mutated. Additional Vespine gas required. Hive cluster targeted for attack. Eliminate incoming enemies. Brutalist allied forces in combat. Evolution. Command unacceptable. Swarm forces under attack.
Men available.
Forces in combat. Sharing Zerg regeneration. In progress. Need more Vespine gas. Allied forces in combat. toxic nests.
Those filthy pirates are trying for another score. Let's lay down the law, Commanders.
Forces in
That's the
combat.
thing about the Dominion. Even in a crisis, our rule of law holds firm. Looks like you've nixed another Void Shard, Commanders. I'm impressed.
Was there ever any doubt? Allied
Mend
forces
is now
in
ready.
combat. Enemy forces approaching. Defense required. Allied forces in combat.
Excellent work, Commanders. That Void Shard is toast.
Perhaps now we can move on to a real fight.
Only one group of shards left. Crush them into dust and end this fight.
Mutation complete. Allied forces in combat. Insufficient Vespine gas. Allied forces in combat.
Mend available.
Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Evolving Brutalisk. Threat maximized. Allied forces in combat. Potential for multiple toxic nests. Must use.
Not today, Amon. We'll obliterate every Void Shard you stick in the ground.
Results unsurprising. Swarm efficient. Ruthless. Hostile organisms approaching. Must secure perimeter. Allied forces in combat.
One fewer Void Shard for us to deal with.
Enemy weakened. Victory assured. Allied forces in combat. Sequences spun. Swarm. Victory foregone conclusion. Celebration unnecessary. quantity insufficient.
Greetings, Commanders. My fellow scientists have determined that Amon is using Kaldir as a... The warp conduits he uses cannot be attacked, so you will need to destroy the shuttles themselves before they can warp away. Amon has activated the central warp conduit. Be prepared to prevent the shuttles from escaping.
Overlords. Unacceptable. Not enough minerals.
The enemy has taken an interest in our base. So, we face the desert.
Allied
I really
forces
enjoy
in
this.
combat. Command unacceptable.
We have an enemy attack inbound.
Mineral quantity insufficient. Not enough minerals. More minerals required.
We've located your main objective. You must destroy the shuttles headed for the central conduit.
Need allied forces in combat. Not enough minerals. Mineral quantity insufficient. Allied forces in combat. Hive cluster targeted for attack. Eliminate incoming enemies.
A wave of shuttles has been shot down.
Killing a fleeing adversary. How familiar.
Sequences spun. Swarm mutated.
Kaldir's Xel'Naga shrines may contain invaluable knowledge. My team is setting out to scan them, but they will require protection. Preparing a research vessel. Let's make this one count.
Acquired.
A warp conduit is powering up, and a wave of shuttles is bearing toward it.
My forces will see to its demise.
Must spawn more overlords. More minerals required.
I believe the enemy wishes to test our defenses. Now, I command the Alexander
In combat.
Our opponent is using cloak nukes. We will need detection.
Evolving allied forces in combat. Maximized.
We've gathered the data we need. Thank you for the escort, commanders.
Defense successful.
The shuttles are no more.
Satisfaction achieved.
Enemy forces are moving toward our base.
Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Sharing Zerg regeneration. Healing in progress.
Another wave of shuttles is headed for a warp conduit.
We will not allow it to escape.
Insufficient Vespine gas. Need more Vespine gas.
It seems our foes intend to attack us directly.
You have prevented the shuttle's escape.
They picked the wrong fight.
Evolve.
research vessel is ready. We're moving out now.
Brutalisk, pinnacle of Zerg evolution. Allied forces in combat. Insufficient Vespene gas.
It appears that 2 warp conduits are active. Multiple waves of shuttles are in transit.
Allied forces in combat. Swarm forces under attack.
We have an enemy attack inbound.
Allied forces
I have been working on something you enjoy.
Shuttles eliminated, Commanders.
Evasion unsuccessful. Poor planning.
The Alexander. I am glad Gerard never saw it like this.
Allied forces in combat.
Our scans are finished. Science owes you a great debt, Commanders.
I suppose my infested make for good guard dogs.
Allied forces in combat.
A wave of shuttles is making its way to an active warp conduit.
Objective attempting escape. Will intercept. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Enemy forces approaching. Defense required. Ally space under assault. Allied forces in combat.
The shuttles have been destroyed.
Escape was never an option for them.
Research vessel ready. Let's get a team to that shrine.
Mutation complete. Allied forces in combat. Need more Vespene. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Regeneration commencing. Allied forces in combat.
Another warp conduit has been activated. A wave of shuttles is headed toward it.
It will not get past us.
Allied forces in combat. Swarm forces under attack.
The enemy has taken an interest in our base.
forces in combat. Allies space under assault.
I call this the apocalypse. See it in action.
Allied forces in combat. Swarm forces under attack. Regeneration commencing. Will heal on.
Scans confirm the shuttle's destruction.
Swarm unstoppable. Cannot escape.
Scan complete. Thank you for your help. They would have been lost without you.
Objective survives. Enemy efforts unimpressive. Insufficient Vespine gas.
Amon has activated all 3 warp conduits. Hurry, commanders. We must stop the shuttles.
Allied forces in combat. Sequences spun. Swarm mutated.
Enemy forces are moving toward our base.
Swarm forces under attack.
The Alexander flies again.
Allied forces in combat. Allies base under assault. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat.
Accept suffering and achieve victory through it. That is what I must do.
Corporal Faraday here. We're in it deep, Commanders. Amon's summoning void shards in multiple locations around the city. Their activation will result in the city's destruction and catastrophic civilian casualties. We need to destroy those shards.
Mineral quantity insufficient. Not enough minerals. More minerals. required.
Our adversaries intend to eliminate us. Templar, greet them in kind.
More overlords required. Mineral quantity insufficient. Confronting enemy commander unacceptable. Many toxic nests ready.
A void shard's been reported outside of your landing point, so that's your first objective. Best of luck out there.
Understood. Destruction imperative.
Enemy forces detected. Prepare our defense.
Evolution complete. Hive cluster under direct assault. Progress. Insufficient overlords. Allied forces in combat. Mutation complete.
The enemy moves against us. We will meet them head-on.
And that's how it's done. Good work. Just gotta do the same to the rest of them. Not good. Multiple void shards in play. Your objective is to take them out.
Hive cluster under direct assault. overlords required. Hive cluster targeted for attack. Eliminate incoming enemies. Not enough minerals.
Cameron's pirates are taking advantage of the chaos to steal precious resources. Shoot those traitors out of the sky if you can.
Sensors are detecting cloaked units. We will need detectors to track them down.
Allied forces in combat. More minerals required. Many toxic nests ready. Deployment advised. Allied forces.
Countdown showing that void shards are going to activate soon. That's not good.
Allied forces in combat. Spawn in progress. Mutated enemy forces approaching. Defense required.
Not today, Amon. We'll obliterate every void shard you stick in the ground.
Results unsurprising. Swarm efficient. Ruthless.
Scanners are picking up multiple void shards. Our mission is to obliterate them.
Allied
Activating emergency shields.
Must spawn more overlords.
Pirate ship neutralized. Nothing worse than pirates and traitors.
Command unacceptable. Allied forces in combat.
Those filthy pirates are trying for another score. Let's lay down the law, Commanders.
The enemy is coming for us. Templar, ready your blades.
Allied forces in combat. Armies. Allied Leviathan combat.
That's the thing about the Dominion. Even in a crisis, our rule of law holds firm.
Sequences
Mend is now
spawn.
ready.
Swarm mutated. No, not possible. Supply limit reached. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Potential for multiple toxic nests. Must use. Sharing surge regeneration.
Clock's ticking. We need to get rid of those shards. Another void shard has been destroyed.
Thus to all enemies of the Templar.
I see your reputations are well earned. These void shards are dropping like flies.
Boldly done, warriors. Detecting enemy forces. Templar, prepare to intercept.
Only one group of shards left. Crush them into dust and end this fight.
Allied forces in combat. Mutation complete. Sequences spun. Swarm mutated. Allied forces in combat.
Men available.
Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat.
I'm shielding our forces now.
Allied forces in combat. Mutation complete. Allied forces in combat.
You've neutralized another void shard. Well done.
Enemy defeat in inevitable.
Wind is now ready.
Allied forces under attack. Healing in progress.
Void shard eliminated. Keep it up.
It is done. The objective has fallen.
I bet Amon didn't count on the two of you joining the fray. Way to make him regret it.
Insufficient overlords.
Mobius Corps built a battle station on this platform, and we're gonna have to dismantle it sector by sector. I loaded these trucks with some Naga artifacts that'll scramble their setup. Get them in place before it's too late.
Minerals.
Bring your truck full of artifacts to this construct, and it'll shut down, I promise. You'll find this sector just to the north of your position.
What's going on? Big job, huh? In the rear with
Not enough minerals.
Mineral quantity insufficient.
More overlords required.
bad news. In the rear with the gear.
Command unacceptable.
SCV ready. What's going on?
Not enough minerals. Mineral quantity insufficient. More minerals required. Enemy forces approaching. Defense required.
We need more minerals.
Hostiles.
Clock's ticking, everyone.
Sharing Zerg Regeneration. Healing in progress.
Your truck's in some trouble. Your buddy's truck's getting beat up.
Not enough minerals.
You did it. The construct's just rubble now.
SCV ready.
Command unacceptable. Insufficient overload. Potential for multiple toxic nests. Must.
This is our final moment. Go!
We got some visitors heading for our base. They don't look too friendly.
Regeneration commencing. New armies. Sequences spun. Swarm mutated. Drones under attack. More overlords required. Swarm has evolved.
We ran out of time. A whole lot of people are gonna die because of this.
More minerals required. Not enough minerals.
Fancy seeing you here. Guess it's my lucky day. Dominion's hired me to destroy some trains carrying dangerous Mobius ordnance. Seeing as how Amon's a mutual enemy, maybe you'd like to step up to the plate. I could use a partner or two on this.
Mineral quantity insufficient. Not enough minerals. Mineral quantity insufficient. More minerals required. More minerals required. Not enough minerals.
The enemy has taken an interest in our base. Now this one, I am proud of.
Allied forces in combat.
Got eyes on your objective. Blow up that train before it reaches its destination.
Fleeing. Futile action. Overlords.
We share your structure for a time, yes?
Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Enemy attack imminent. Prepare defenses.
Objective has been destroyed.
It reminds me of duck hunting back on Earth.
Regeneration commencing. Will heal armies. Evolution complete.
That fight cost me quite a few forces.
Enemy assaulting drones. Mineral allies base under assault.
The Alexander flies again!
Mineral quantity insufficient.
Normally, I'd encourage robbing a train like this, but with these guys, it's probably safer to light it up.
Potential for multiple toxic nests. Must use. Sharing conserve regeneration. Healing in progress. Required.
Main objective destroyed.
Evasion unsuccessful. Poor planning. Hive cluster targeted for attack. Eliminate incoming enemies. Swarm forces under attack. Swarm has allied forces.
Looks like they've got another shipment leaving the station. Let's cause some delays.
I may have underestimated our opponent. I have been working on something new. Enjoy.
The trains on that bottom track are faster than the others. You can try and stop them, but you gotta be quick.
Not enough minerals.
A main objective has been destroyed.
Swarm unstoppable. Cannot escape. Allied forces
Double
in
the
combat.
infestation, double the power, yes?
Swarm forces under attack.
Enemy forces are moving toward our base.
Allied forces in combat. Sharing Zerg regeneration. Healing.
Trains are departing from both stations. Gotta move fast to hit them both.
Infestation does have its strengths, you know.
Allied forces in combat. Sequences spun. Insufficient overlords. Allied forces in combat.
Good job torching those trains. From the intel I've been provided, I'd say half their stock is in flames.
Allied forces in combat. Mineral quantity insufficient. Allied forces in combat.
Main objective destroyed.
They picked the wrong fight. I've suffered considerable.
Allied
It seems our
forces
foes intend to attack us directly.
Forces under attack. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Swarm forces under attack.
Incoming train. Do whatever it takes to derail it.
Combat. Allied forces in 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 combat.
Main objective destroyed.
Destruction confirmed. Enemy loss severe. Additional Vespine gas required. Allied forces in
I
combat.
believe the enemy wishes to test our defenses.
At least my army has prior experience with dying.
Allied forces in combat. No, not possible. Supply limit reached. Mutation complete. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Swarm forces under attack. Drones on allied generation commencing. Will heal armies.
The Alexander. I am glad Gerard never soared like this.
Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat.
Contract offers a big bonus for hitting the trains on the third rail, but don't do it for me. Do it for the good of the sector.
A main objective has been destroyed.
Escape was never an option for them.
Sharing Zerg regeneration. Healing in progress. Allied forces in combat.
Many of my infested have fallen.
Enemy forces approaching. Defense required.
Bonus objective complete.
Forces in combat. Allied space under assault.
Let us see what
Allied
additional
forces in
infestation can
combat.
do.
Swarm forces under attack. Evolving Leviathan.
Their warehouses should be looking real empty right now. Not too many trains left to go.
Swarm forces under attack. Regeneration commencing. Will Allied forces in combat. Swarm forces
I've suffered
under
considerable
attack.
losses.
Allied forces in combat. Swarm forces. Enemy inbound. Must defend Hive cluster.
Main objective destroyed.
Escape pattern inefficient. Easily disrupted.
That was some impressive work, Commanders. You ever want to get into the merc business? Give me a call.
minerals required. Not enough minerals. Many toxic mineral quantity.
Everything's gone straight to hell, Commanders. This mining operation is over, and we need to leave right now. But without your protection, the infested will tear us apart before we can even take off.
Must spawn more.
We have several ships ready for launch. Head out to one of them when you're ready so that it can prepare for liftoff.
Command on more overlords. More minerals required. Mineral quantity insufficient. Not enough minerals. Mineral quantity insufficient. More minerals required. Not enough minerals. More minerals required. Not enough minerals. Insufficient overlords. Mineral quantity insufficient. More overlords required.
Commanders, one of my pilots is getting antsy. I think he might try to launch without you.
Required.
Looks like we're hunting Zerg today. Defensive drone initiated.
Allied forces mineral quantity insufficient.
The ship's trying to launch without you. They can't get off the ground before the infested arrive.
Evolved. Swarm forces under attack. Not enough minerals. Allied forces in combat.
That ship's plating won't keep the infested out for long. You need to fight them off.
Swarm forces under attack. Regeneration commencing. Will heal armies.
Don't let the infested destroy the ship. My people's lives are at stake.
Toxic nests ready. Deployment advised. Hostile organisms approaching. Must secure perimeter. Allied forces evolution complete.
Ship's ready to go. Commanders, feel free to pull back from that launch point. Seems like we could use a defensive drone.
Swarm forces under attack.
The infested are one thing, but Amon's forces are an even bigger threat. Take them out.
Allied forces in combat. Potential for multiple toxic nests. Combat must use. Command unacceptable.
The KMC supplied us with eradicators, but they've gone haywire. If you could deal with them for us, I'd appreciate it. Won't be long before the enemy starts attacking the ship, and those people start to die. If I bought that ship a little more time, it might make all the difference.
Command unacceptable. Mutation complete. Sequences.
Now get moving, Commanders. People on that ship would rather die running than waiting.
Enough minerals. Allied forces in combat.
You can't attack the Eradicators after they're back in the facility. Hurry up if you want to destroy them.
Forces in combat. Mutation complete.
Enemy combatants in motion. They're headed our way. You need to get to that ship before the infested rip it to pieces.
Forces under attack. Allied forces spawn combat. Overlords. Allied forces in combat.
Activating defensive drone.
Allied space under assault. Swarm forces under attack. Mutation. Allied space
Time
under
to play
assault.
defense.
Encountered. Detection. Allied forces in combat. Forces spun.
Griffin's ready for boarding.
Mutated.
You busted up the Eradicators. Damn things did squat to protect us.
Allied forces in combat.
That's Blightbringer. Killed a lot of them when the infestation started. Turn the favor if you get the chance. A fair number of my people have made it to orbit, but we've still got a ways to go. The enemy just left their base. We don't have much time.
Sequences spun. Swarm mutated.
Thank you for that, Commanders. We just didn't have the firepower to deal with it. That ship is a sitting duck, Commanders. It won't survive an enemy attack. These are the last of our ships. We lose another and we're done for.
Allied forces in combat. Swarm forces under attack. Hive cluster targeted for attack. Eliminate incoming enemies. No, not possible. Supply limit reached.
I think Blightbringer is gonna burrow into the ground. If you want to squash it, do it fast. Keep your guard up. You'll have to keep the infested at bay. Enemies on the move. Gotta put a stop to them, Commanders. They're heading for the ship again. You know what to do.
In combat. Mutation complete. Sequences spun. Swarm mutated. Allied forces in combat.
We just might get out of here alive after all. Hopefully, Amon will think twice before trying that again, but I doubt it.
Mutation complete. Allied forces swarm forces under attack. Sharing reserve regeneration. In progress.
People on that ship owe you their lives, but there are still a few more to get up in the air.
No.
Everyone in the ship, go, go, go!
Limit reached.
thank you enough for this, Commanders.
Evolving Leviathan. Sky will belong to Swarm. Allied forces in combat.
Men available.
We're about to have company. Enemy forces are gunning for us.
Allied forces in combat. Regeneration commencing. Will heal armies.
I got a ship calling for help. The infested are right on top of them.
Time to play defense.
Engines to full, ships in the sky. Those people get to live.
Allied swarm forces. Allied forces in combat. No, not possible. Supply limit reached.
Everyone in the ship, go, go, go!
Mend is now ready.
Sequences spun. Swarm mutated.
Just a few of my people are left on the planet. We're almost there.
Sharing Zerg regeneration. Healing in Allied forces in combat. Sequences spun. Swarm mutated. Swarm forces under attack. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Brutalisk, pinnacle of Zerg evolution. Enemy attack imminent. Prepare defenses. Mission complete.
Men available.
Allied forces in combat. Forces under attack.
Eyes up. Lock, stock, and one smoking barrel.
insufficient.
The war against Amon rages, Commanders. His forces descend upon the Xel'Naga Temple as we speak. It is yet to fall, but it will not last long. Your objective is to defend it until its activation.
Zerg will repel enemy forces. Sufficient overlords. Mineral quantity insufficient. More minerals required. Must spawn more overlord. Mineral quantity insufficient. Not enough minerals. More overlords required. More minerals required. Not enough minerals. Insufficient overlords.
Even now, enemies descend on our base. Enemy Terrans are in the vicinity. My blades are ready once more.
Allied forces in combat. Allied forces. Allied space under assault.
Hybrid signature detected.
We will return them to the void.
The temple is beginning to awaken. It won't be long before it activates itself.
Allied Allied forces more in combat required.
It seems the nearby Xenostones are becoming volatile. It is unfortunate, but it may be prudent for us to destroy them.
Many toxic nests ready. Deployment advised. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces.
Well fought, commanders. 2 Xenostones remain. Amon is assailing the temple with a Void Thrasher. It has to be eliminated.
Allied forces in combat.
Void Thrasher obliterated.
Not enough minerals. Mutation complete. Allied forces in combat. Potential for multiple toxic nests. Must use.
The hybrid threaten us.
These abominations must be slain.
Swarm forces under attack. Regeneration commencing. Allied forces in combat. Must spawn more overlords. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Mineral quantity insufficient. Allied forces in combat.
Hybrid detected.
Understood. Will respond appropriately.
We have eliminated all but one of the volatile Zenith Stones. The temple's preparations are proceeding as planned. Stay strong in your defense. Amon has summoned a Void Thrasher. It will severely harm the temple for as long as it lives.
Allied forces in combat. Mineral quantity insufficient.
Void Thrasher slaughtered.
The Zenith Stones are no more, and their volatile energies have been quelled.
Expected outcome. Proper tactics applied.
Our enemy has sent in drop pods.
Combat.
Enemy drop pods incoming.
Assault.
A Void Thrasher is bombarding the temple. You must end its assault.
Allied forces in combat. Sharing Zerg regeneration. Healing from this. Sequences spun. Swarm mutated.
Void Thrasher defeated. Hybrid energy signature detected.
Threat recognized. Swarm will counter. Mutated. Allied forces in combat. Pinnacle of Zerg evolution. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat.
We sense the hybrid.
Sequences from both Zerg and Protoss must examine. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces under attack.
The temple is under siege from a Void Thrasher. Slay it before it deals too much damage.
Evolving Leviathan. Sky.
We are detecting hybrid.
Dangerous life forms. Extermination advised. Sharing Zerg regeneration. Allied forces progress. Leviathan swarm forces under attack. Allies base under assault.
We have slain a Void Thrasher. Men available.
Allied forces in combat.
The temple is nearly operational. Stand firm, commanders. The battle is almost won.
Enemy attacks useless, inefficient, wasted effort.
Amon has called forth numerous Void Thrashers against us. Direct your forces accordingly.
In combat. Allied forces in combat.
A Void Thrasher has been annihilated.
Mutation complete.
Hybrid detected.
Volatile sequences cannot study, eradicate. Sequences spun, swarm.
Mend is now ready.
Allied forces in combat. Allies base. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Forces in combat. Mutation complete.
Mend is now ready.
I never dared to hope for such a victory. Not enough minerals. More minerals required. Many non-toxic nests ready. Deployment.
Purifiers were born here, converted from the personalities of great warriors. But one of them was merely a prisoner, a Tal Jareem. His AI personality managed to infiltrate our systems and turn them against us. I can undo the damage, but I will need your help.
Insufficient. More minerals required.
Live.
Allied forces in combat. Mineral quantity insufficient. More minerals required. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces not in enough minerals. Mineral quantity insufficient. More minerals required.
Initial security terminal is clear. Fear not, there are several more. Stay vigilant. The Tal'Darim sends his holographic warriors to your position. They may not be flesh, but they are fierce.
Enemy attack imminent. Prepare defenses.
Warning. I will set out for the next location shortly.
I see. I will guide it.
Transport en route.
Many toxic nests ready. Deployment advised.
Beginning security data restoration. Considerable wait time ahead. Hostile forces have been deployed to my position.
Allied forces in combat. Mineral quantity insufficient. Allied forces in combat. Not enough minerals.
I have regained control of 50% of our systems, but it hasn't been easy.
Allied forces in combat.
The facility's suppression towers used to protect us. But now, this one will bring my efforts to a halt if you do not stop it.
In combat.
Tower attacks temporarily disabled my systems. This is just a transport. It has no shields to defend me from these strikes.
Rise, primal worm.
Allied forces in combat. Evolving Brutalisk. Threat maximized.
Only 25% of the corruption remains. Suppression tower down.
I live. Swarm forces. Allied forces.
Despite the odds, everything has been fully reset here. The transport is nearly ready. Relocating to the third terminal soon. Advancing toward the next terminal now.
Enemies gather. We must withstand them.
Interesting. One of the data cores has not yet been breached by the rogue Tal'Darim. If you could recover these personalities, the purifiers would be grateful.
Allied space under assault. Allied forces in combat.
Analyzing corrupted security data. Stand by.
Allied forces.
The Tal'Darim still thinks he can destroy me. Can you prove him wrong?
Allied forces. Allied space under assault. Swarm forces under attack.
I recommend taking out that suppression tower. Quickly.
Men available.
Allied space under assault.
I am unable to progress due to the tower's interruption.
Swarm forces under attack.
The enemy strikes our data core.
Allied space under assault. Allied forces in combat.
This purifier is free from harm. I am under attack. Care to assist? System takeover is halfway complete. And yes, I am doing my best. Systems work halted by tower strikes. The Tal'Darim is brutal, but not clever. He has not discovered this data core yet, but we only have a little time remaining. I am under attack. Care to assist? What a relief. Another personality saved. Excellent. We have saved the purifier personalities from this data core. My transport is nearly in ruins.
Under attack. Allied forces in combat.
Systems work halted by tower strikes. The tower has ceased its fire. At least something is going right. Enemy suppression tower activated.
I live. Swarm forces under attack. Insufficient Vespine.
Tower destroyed. Good work. I will have to ask for more of it. I have overwritten 3/4 of the Tal'Darim's alterations. Hold fast.
forces under attack. Allied forces in combat. Swarm forces under attack.
System integrity verified. We are back online at this location.
Allied forces in combat.
Mend is now ready.
More overlords required.
I must proceed to the next security terminal soon. Make your preparations.
Enemy will not approach. Will be exterminated.
Moving forward.
Enemy is near. Kill.
Allied forces in combat.
Restoring original security protocol. Try to be patient. I require aid. System defenses have been activated against me. Detecting another suppression tower.
Sequences spun.
The tower has ceased its fire. At least something is going right.
Allied forces in combat. Mutation complete.
Restoration efforts have reached the halfway point. Enemy suppression tower activated. Tower destroyed. Good work. I will have to ask for more of it. My work here is nearly finished, if you can believe it. I recommend taking out that suppression tower, quickly.
Rise, primal worm.
Allied forces in combat. No, not possible. Swarm forces under attack.
Data secure. This security terminal is clear. Suppression tower down. I will depart soon.
Leviathan, largest of Zerg. Powerful evolution.
Men available.
More of our purifier kin are being stored in this data core. Recover them if you can.
Generation commencing. Allied forces incoming. Swarm mutated.
This personality will never be lost now. Initiating security system rebuild. This will take a while. You have protected another of my brethren. The Tal Dareem still thinks he can destroy me. Can you prove him wrong? Fortunately, all of the personalities from the data cores were preserved. Detecting another suppression tower.
No, not our forces incoming. Come to battle, Mama. Come visit Mars.
Wind is now ready.
Generation.
The tower has ceased its fire. At least something is going right. Detecting another suppression tower. Restoration efforts have reached the halfway point. Tower attacks have temporarily disabled my systems.
Allied forces in combat. No, not possible. Supply limit reached. Mutation complete.
Suppression tower down. Numerous suppression towers activating. Just what we needed.
Allied forces in combat.
Only 25% of the corruption remains. Tower destroyed. Good work. I will have to ask for more of it. Tower destroyed. Good work. I will have to ask for more of it. Analyzing systems. No trace of the Tal Dareem personality remains. It appears he is truly dead at last. Fine work, Commanders.
quantity insufficient. More minerals required. Potential for...
This planet is in serious trouble. If this infestation spreads, there won't be any survivors. We need to stop it. It's risky to move at night, but the infested die off during the day. When the sun is up, move out and burn their structures.
Insufficient overlords. Mineral quantity insufficient. More minerals required. Not enough minerals. More minerals required. Mineral quantity insufficient. Not enough minerals. More minerals required. Not enough minerals. Mineral quantity insufficient. More minerals required.
Night's almost here. I'd start getting ready to deal with the infested if I were you. The sun is down. Defend against the infested until it rises again.
The wonders of modern technology.
Allied forces in combat.
We call these ones kaboomers. They spit acid, and they explode when they die.
Mineral quantity insufficient. Not enough minerals. Mineral quantity insufficient. Allied forces in combat. More minerals required. More overlords required. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat.
Just a little longer, Commanders. The infested can't survive in the sun.
Allied forces in combat.
Time to get to work. We have to burn away enough of the infestation before the day ends. Start with the structures I've marked. Detecting more structures at this location.
Not enough mineral. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. More minerals required.
I've got another sector with structures on my scanners.
Allied forces in combat. Sensing cloaked units. Detection advised. Allied forces in combat.
There's still a lot of infestation left, but we'll get every last bit of it.
Must spawn more overlords. Allied forces in combat.
Sending you the coordinates for more structures.
Allied forces in combat.
Don't go out too far. There isn't much time left in the day.
Not enough minerals. Allied forces in combat.
Sit tight, Commanders. This night's just getting started. Don't get too bold out there. If our base falls to the infested, this planet will be lost.
Allied forces in combat.
I'm reading you.
Allied forces in combat. Ready. Deployment advised.
I like the hustle, but I'd advise against it, Commanders. It'll be easier to take out the structures in the daytime.
Mineral quantity insufficient. Allied forces in combat. Allied
One of our
forces
barricades is being hit hard. Chokers. They'll pull in your forces and stun them if they aren't dealt with.
Allied forces in combat. Sequences spun. Swarm mutated. Evolution. Allied forces in combat. More minerals required.
You sure you want to do that at night, Commanders? The infested will be here any minute.
Activating defensive drone.
Allied forces in combat. Not enough minerals.
Looks like Amon wants a piece of us too. Get those defenses in place. Don't get too bold out there. If our base falls to the infested, this planet will be lost.
forces in combat.
Won't be long now. We just have to survive until dawn.
Allied forces in combat. Regeneration commencing will heal armies.
Sunrise. That's our cue to move. We won't have enough time later if we destroy too few structures today.
Combat.
Looks like we can find additional structures here.
Allied forces in combat.
Seems like we could use a defensive drone.
Mutation complete. Insufficient overlords. Sequences spun. Swarm. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat. Of Zerg evolution.
My scans show that half of the infestation is gone. We can do this.
In combat. Evolving Brutalisk. Threat maximized. Allied forces in combat. Allied forces in combat.
We're not done yet, Commanders. Here's some more structures to burn out.
Allied forces in combat. Need more Vespine gas.
Make the most of the day, Commanders. It's nearly over.
Allied forces in combat.
Just keep fighting, Commanders. We'll make it through the night. I like the hustle, but I'd advise against it, Commanders. It'll be easier to take out the structures in the daytime. There's a virophage out there, Commanders. Kill it if you can, but you'll have to do it at night. Don't worry if you can't kill the virophage tonight. I'm sure it'll be back tomorrow. I'm seeing the infested gather at one of the barricades.
Potential for multiple toxic lead.
Nice job, Commanders. Now we don't have to worry about the virophage after we clear out the structures. You'll have to defend that barricade if it's gonna stay standing. You sure you want to do that at night, Commanders? The infested will be here any minute.
Need more Vespine gas.
The infestation is almost gone, but we need to get the rest of it for this to work.
Allies base under assault. Allied forces in combat.
Don't get too bold out there. If our base falls to the infested, this planet will be lost.
An enemy Nidus worm has emerged.
Sequences need more Vespine gas. Allied forces in combat.
Men available.
Sharing Allied forces in
You
combat.
sure you want to do that at night, Commanders? The infested will be here any minute. Are you kidding me? Amon wants to attack us now too? Perfect.
Allied forces swarm forces under attack.
We can do this, Commanders. It's almost sunrise.
Allied
Like the hustle, but I'd advise against it, Commanders. It'll be easier to take out the structures in the daytime.
Allied Specification complete. Swarm has evolved. Allied forces in combat.
Land is now ready.
Regeneration commencing will heal armies. Allied forces in combat.
I could get used to being a CO.